One Wintry Night by Ruth Bell Graham. Illustrated by Richard Jesse Watson. Chapter 4. The Testing Tree. The woman paused briefly and adjusted the cushion near the boy's ankle. Tickled that the cat was curled up on Zeb's chest, she tended the fire and began again. In the very center of the Garden of Eden, God planted a beautiful tree, prettier than any Christmas tree. Its ornaments were a strange and lovely fruit. But this tree was off limits to Adam and Eve, for this was the testing tree. God put it there on purpose to test and see whether Adam and Eve would obey him. Of course, he could have made humans more like other creatures, which do things without question. A caterpillar does not ask himself, "Let's see, shall I spin myself into a cocoon and turn into a butterfly? Or is it more fun to be a caterpillar?" He just does what he does and cannot do otherwise. God had decided he wouldn't get much pleasure from humans who acted like caterpillars. He wanted people who would obey him and be his children because they chose to. And so the testing tree. It wasn't a hard test, not like putting a candy bar in front of you and saying you mustn't eat it. After all, there were lots of other trees in the Garden of Eden. Plenty of juicy apples and oranges to choose from, and figs, grapes, cherries, plums, better than the best candy bars. God told Adam to help himself to all but that one tree in the middle of the garden. "For if you eat of it," he said, "you will surely die." This is when all the trouble started. One day, a serpent slipped through the bushes and whispered to Eve in a smooth, silky voice. Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree in the garden"? "Oh no," Eve replied, "we can eat from most trees. But the fruit that grows on the tree in the middle of the garden is not for us. God told us that if we eat it, we will die." The serpent's forked tongue flicked out and about as he said shyly, "Surely you won't die." God knows when you eat it, you will begin to understand secrets. You will become as wise as he is. Just take it, the serpent urged. This serpent, as you might already know, was no ordinary snake. It was really a disguise, a costume for Satan himself. Satan had once been an angel called Son of the Morning, but he was a real troublemaker, and in his pride, he had begun to want to be as great and wise as God himself. So Satan fell from heaven, sending shock waves still felt today. Now, seeing Adam and Eve, whom God loved, Satan thought of a way to get even, a way to spoil God's plan. To Eve, the snake's words sounded exciting. She ran to the center of the garden and looked up into the branches of the testing tree. There, ripe and tempting, hung the fruit. She remembered what Satan said about it making her as wise as God. So she picked one. For a moment, she wondered if it would really kill her. She took a tiny bite of it and waited. Nothing happened. She waited some more. Still nothing. Eve felt as strong as ever, and the fruit was so sweet. Quickly, she gulped down the rest of it. Then, picking a piece for Adam, she took it to him. Adam ate it. And joy died. Fear came. That doesn't sound too awful, does it? No worse, anyway, than stealing cookies from the cookie jar. But this was the first time anyone on earth had ever disobeyed God. And from that day on, all was ruined. When Adam and Eve failed the test of the testing tree, it may not have been the end of the world. It was, however, the end of the happiness his world had enjoyed. Every horrible thing you can think of, sickness, war, loneliness, thorns, nightmares, got its start the moment Eve disobeyed God. And since God loved his children, he already knew he would come to our rescue. From the beginning of time, we needed Christmas. Meanwhile, God had to deal with Adam and his wife. Now, where had they disappeared to? This is the end of chapter 4 of One Wintry Night. If you are enjoying this read aloud and would like to hear more, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends.